G'day guys, congratulations on your new Franklin Caravan. Today we'll be doing the handover on all the ranges, so there will be a few differences between the models, but we'll try and cover everything as we can. Alrighty, first thing we're going to do is just go through a few things that you guys just need to know about the van, just little things. So first of all, smoke alarms located just above your bed. It may be up here in other vans, just keep an eye out for it. Basically, battery operated, it'll beep when it's ready to be changed. Next thing is the fire extinguisher located just down by the step. Just so you guys know, everything's tested, it's all in the green zone and it's just located there, so it's easy access if you do ever get a fire. Fingers crossed you don't. Okay, so another quick one is just where your light switches are located, depending on the model. All Razors will have theirs located near the door. Most of them will be labelled. You've got a black isolation switch here, so when you're storing the Caravan, you don't want to use any 12 volt and you want to maintain your battery life. Flick this one off, that'll turn all the 12 volt in the van off. When you're traveling with the van, you're connected to your car, what you want to do is keep the 12 volt isolation on, but switch all your internal lights off, including your little reading lights. That'll keep the battery levels down, but still allow the fridge to run when you're traveling. Alrighty, onto the control panel in the Franklin Razor. So up in the cupboard, right hand side, roadside, you'll have it in your bedroom. There will be a few little controls up there. So firstly, we've got your RV View 2. This will basically tell you the input of your solar, the output of the amperage, and then also the battery voltage as well. So also up the top here, you've got two 95 litre freshwater tanks. If you have optioned up your Caravan with a grey water tank, it will have two water tank levels. We press the test button, it'll tell you that on the left that your two tanks are full, and on the right that your grey water tank is empty. Obviously these will go up and down according to how much water is in the tank. Right next to that, we do have some isolation switches for some 240. So air conditioner and hot water service, that's what they stand for. You can basically leave your air conditioner on all the time if you wanted to. It's not going to start your air conditioner as soon as you plug into 240. Hot water service, I would monitor according to whether you're using it or not with 240. And then your pump here, that's basically to run the pump. So when you're free camping, we flick that on. Only use your pump when you're free camping. If you're in a caravan park or if you're connected to water in anywhere in a caravan park or in just the backyard or something, you can leave your pump off. Right next to that is your Trimmer Ultra Rapid gas hot water service. So this is to control the gas, 60 degrees or 70 degrees. We basically just flick and choose what you want it on.
Alright guys, so we're just going to go over a different control panel depending on what van you get, or if you choose to option up, you may have this one, which is the Odyssey link. Okay, so first button you're going to want to use is this eco mode button. Okay, we click that one, click yes, turn off all power. So that's your kill switch. Okay, the next one, we'll turn that one on. Next you've got your lights. So you've got different light zones to turn off different lights. Okay, you've also got your water pump. You only have one water pump, so it'll be pump 1. Now it's off. Turn it back on. Easy as that. Then we've got your tanks. So currently we're half full in our 2 freshwater tanks. That's a summary of the 2. And then we've got our grey water tank over here. Alright, so that's your gauges. We also have time remaining. Okay, so time remaining on the battery with our current usage. There are also other options that you can look at. If you swipe up, you've got your battery sitting at volts is what we're going to want to look at. We don't want that one to drop down in the 11s. Time remaining, you've got solar input is our main source of input at the moment, and then we've got the loads in amps.
Alrighty, so onto the windows and blinds. Franklin have made it really easy with their windows. Basically, we want to know how to open them up. Grab your latches, open them all up. There'll be 5 on the bigger windows, and varying on the size, there'll be a little bit less on the other ones. Once it's all opened and latched open, we want to push out, find the click, and then stop pushing and let go basically straight away. If you push past that click point too much, it'll drop back down. You do have 3 click points, 1, 2, and 3. We'll go up to the second one just for now. You do want to make sure that you lock these in place as well. It's going to stop the wind picking this up and slamming it shut in the wind. I said winds twice. That's okay, we'll keep rolling. If you're dropping this down, you also want to make sure that you loosen these off first, otherwise you're going to be fighting these nuts. And then we just lift up, drop down past that click point, making sure that every single latch is latched before you travel, because we don't want to have your windows letting water or dust or anything into the van. The next thing we want to do is just finger tight these as well. Sometimes these can come loose. If you leave them loose, they might unravel. Alrighty, onto your blinds. So what we have is your blackout blind, and then we've also got your flyer screen. They do have a magnetic seal in the middle, which holds them together, but we want to make sure when we're traveling that these are left open. It does protects the life of your blinds, so keep them open at all times. While we're on the blinds, let's go over to your overhead hatches. These things need to be kept open as well. If we keep them shut like this, or your blackout shut like that, over time, especially when you're traveling, these things can start to sag, and then you're obviously going to have a lot of trouble shutting these up if it's got a sag in it. Alrighty, just onto your bed frame, really simple, but things you do need to know. So when we're lifting up the bed, you want to make sure you're grabbing the bracket, not just the mattress. The bracket will actually have gas struts on it, it will help lift everything up. In your razors, you'll have your footrests as standard, so your little footrest cushions will be under there. You'll also have a jack that comes with the van. If you have independent suspension on your van, you will come with a different sort of jack. TV box will be under there. You'll also have your jack wheel brace. There will be a jockey wheel winder for your legs, which we'll go over when we head outside, and also an awning stick as well. Making sure when we're dropping the bed down that we're grabbing that bracket again and coming down with the bracket nice and softly, taking the weight. If we push with our hands on the top, it's going to want to slam, and you don't want your bed frame slamming against the bracket. Okay, so moving on to the footrests, what you want to do is you grab your cushion from underneath the bed. Then we come here, we've got a top drawer and a bottom drawer. Bottom drawer is just your normal drawer. Top drawer you want to bring out. This is rated for people, so you can sit on these footrests as well, just not too heavy, don't load them up. And that's basically how you do it. Really simple. Cushion goes back underneath the bed when you're done with it, or wherever you're storing it, and then we slide this back in and make sure it's clicked in all the way so it doesn't slide in and out when you're traveling. Okay, so moving on to your TV and antenna. Basically, we want you guys storing your TVs on your bed underneath your pillows. It's gonna stop any TVs dropping off and leading to any warranty issues or just damage to your TVs in general. So what we'll do when we're setting your TV up, grab your TV from underneath your pillows, take it off the bed. You will have a little bracket on the back of your TV. Really simple, putting the TVs on the bracket. We take the TV, slide it in onto your TV bracket, and then tension the screw. Once the TV is mounted, we move this out the way just so we can access all the cords from the other side. What we'll have with your TV is a 12-volt plug. You've also got an antenna connected to this coaxial point here. This black button acts as your booster for your antenna. The green light indicates that's on, and this is where we're plugging the 12-volt to get power for your TV. But when we're plugging the TV in, we want to plug the power into the TV first, which is just located up in this top corner. Plug that in first, then we plug the power in. The reason why we're doing this is because if I plug that in first, this piece was live and I go tap that on the TV, it could potentially blow the fuse in this or blow the TV up, which we've had quite a few times lately. So remember, this goes in first, then we put the 12-volt socket in. Antenna will just plug up underneath the TV nice and easily. You should be able to find that underneath. Once this is all connected, we can put the TV on, but first you need to wind your antenna up. Basically, you want to find it, it's located on your ceiling, it would be really close to your TV here. All laid out for you on the sticker, so follow the arrow, wind to follow the arrow. Once it's all the way up to the top, it will stop spinning. Once it stops spinning and you can stop winding, it'll go firm like that. Then what you want to do to basically search for your signal, we pull this down and you can change the direction of your antenna from the inside here. Remembering when you're packing up, you line these two arrows up, just like that. If I had this facing that way, then I wound down, it'd take the antenna over the edge of the van. So we want to line these arrows up completely and then follow the arrow and wind down. Wind down until it basically stops again, just so you don't hit any tree branches or anything when you're traveling. Alrighty, just with your DVDs, if you still use DVDs, up in the radio here we've got a DVD slot. Once that's in, it'll connect to these cords. You just need to line the colours up with your TV and that should be starting to play your DVDs through your TV. Alrighty, moving on to Sirocco Fans, if that is an option that you have ordered in your Caravan. So if you do have Sirocco Fans, what you want to do is firstly set them in the position that you want them in first, instead of turning it on and getting your fingers all caught up in this, because it does hurt. I've done it before. So how we want to set it is pull this little pin down. This will allow you to move this back and forth. Once you're happy with where that is, lock that in place, it locks it into place. Then we can pivot this to wherever we want. As you can see, this is why we want to do it when the fan's off, because you could easily get your fingers done. I want it on the bed, facing me, so I have a nice night's sleep. Next thing we want to do is put the fan on. So down the bottom, on both sides, there will be a fan button. Press that in. You'll have 3 fan speeds. 1, and then you got your second, 2, and 3. You press it a 4th time, it'll turn it off. What we want to do, if we want to use the timer, have it at least on 1. Up the top here, same thing, top and bottom, top on both sides, my bad. You have 3, 6, 9, and 12 hours. It'll light up and you faintly see 12, 9, 6, and 3 along there, and that's how you know your time is going to run. Turning it off again, 1, 2, 3, turns it off. When you're traveling, we want to make sure that we can pop these out the way. Even if you're not using it, just pop it out the way, lock it into place so you're not hitting your head if you're a little bit taller than I am. Okay guys, just moving on to your battery management system. This is the lithium compatible in the Razor series. Located in your bedroom in the corner cupboard. You want to pop that open. There's not much to know about this. Everything's controlled up above, but what we do need to know is just not to turn the 240 power point off that it's plugged into. That'll basically stop allowing it to charge when you're plugged into 240. You do have a few battery fuses in there, and there is a reset button if you do have any issues, located on the very bottom of it. Bit hard to see, but if you got down on your knees you can see it, but you don't need to reset it. We will tell you if you need to reset it if there's any issues, but we don't tend to have issues with this management system. Alrighty guys, just going on to a few things in the kitchen. First thing I'll point out is a 240 power point up here. You will not have one located near my coffee mugs over here, because there is regulations with where you can have power in a Caravan above a gas unit. Firstly, we've got your filter tap just here. So this is going to be your drinking water. The one over here is your dishes and wash up sort of water. And this one will have your hot and cold, which is controlled by the switches that you have in your control panel, which we went through earlier. Filter tap filter is located underneath the sink. Okay, moving on to your oven, grill, cooktop, and Rangehood. First of all, you want to lift up your recessed bench top. Lift that up all the way, and then lift this one up as well. You will have in your Razor series an electric and 3 burners. I do believe the core doesn't come standard with your recessed bench top or the oven, so just be aware of that. If we wanted to get the electric plate working, you have an isolation switch right next to the stove. Flick that down, that'll allow 240 to this if you are plugged into it. If you don't have 240, you're obviously not going to be able to use this, and that's when we run the gas burners. Also, make sure if you do have 240 that this is switched off when you're not using it, so you don't brush past this and accidentally burn yourself. If we're running off the gas, all you want to do is find the burner. They're all labeled across the bottom. So I want to burn this one here. I'll push in, turn, that'll release the gas. Over here you have an igniter. And make sure your gas bottles are open, so otherwise you're not going to get any gas coming through your burners. So with your griller, same thing again. Find the burner that you want to use, which is griller. Push in, turn, and ignite. The griller does come with a little tray, and the oven also has a compatible tray with the grill and the oven. Oven is the exact same thing again with all the temperatures here. So you go from low to all the way to 240 degrees Celsius. Same thing again. Push in, turn, and ignite. Lastly, we got the Rangehood in the kitchen. So really simple. You've got a fan switch here, and you've also got an LED light, so you can see your pasta when you're cooking it. If you did want to change or clean your filter, really easy to access. Pull that, drop it down, and give it a clean, then pop it back up. Alrighty, moving on to your seating. If you have cafe seating, you'll have a trifold table like this one. If you had a club lounge, you may have, depending on the model or what you have ordered, a hydraulic table and cushion. We'll go over that in another van. For this van here, we do have cafe seating. So when we want to pull this out, all you want to do is remove the Velcro strap, which is good for when you're traveling. It stops this from bouncing around. We undo this Velcro strap, just chuck it up behind the pole here. Then we grab the table, lift up and pull out. Really simple and easy to use. Packing up's the exact same thing. Lift up, push in, drop down, and then just wrap your Velcro straps around again so nothing can rattle and get damaged when you're traveling. Okay, moving on to your fridge. So standard in the Razors, we have a 3-way Dometic Smart Fridge, 188 litres. Basically, turning these things on, hold down the middle button till it lights up. At the moment it's on auto, so how we want to do to play around with this, you've got your thermometer up the top. We click on the thermometer, that'll set the temperature. The more bars, the cooler the fridge and freezer will be. And that's what we want. We want your beers nice and cold. Then we go to the next station here, tap it in again, where it says auto and the gas flame. Click it in. At the moment, the strongest power source in the van is gas, so it's automatically going to try and select the strongest source, which is that gas again. If we were to manually operate it, we'll just go back, tap it, bring it back in. We can actually choose whatever source we want. So we've got in a 3-way, 240, battery and gas, and I can just choose whatever I want like that. Then I can go back to the main menu. It's going to say no, there's no 240 because we're not plugged in. So what I want to do is go back into that setting and then try for gas or go to auto, and it will go straight to gas again. Okay, moving on to your radio. Really simple thing to use. Basically, we want to turn it on by this power button right up here. Click that in, it'll say, "G'day, how's it going?" We have a few settings on the radio, so at the moment it's set on Triple J. If we wanted to go through the modes, we click the mode button just here. This blue little mode button, click that in, it will take you to Bluetooth. What you want to do, go into your phone, settings, Bluetooth, and then try and find the device NCE5251 DVD, and then connect. There's no password. Once you're connected, it'll come up with your phone there. Make sure the volume's up on your phone, and then you can start playing your favorite music on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever streaming platform you guys use. You will also have a way, so let me just go to your radio. There is a way to separate the speakers from inside and outside. We have an all button here. We click all, that'll do inside and outside. and we have an in and out here. So if I press that, fades in. If I hold this down, takes to the outside speakers. Moving on to your ensuite, there is a few things to get through. I'll start off with the shower. Basically, shower has a magnetic seal on the handle. We pull this out, and that's how you open the door. Really, really simple. Showers will vary on the model and size you have, and same with the layouts, obviously. We do have a nice shower head up here with a mixer tap, so you can adjust the shower head accordingly. You'll have a soap holder. There is a little handle. I'm just going to step inside. Hopefully Tom can follow. So there is a little handle here. This is basically going to adjust the height of your shower head. So if you're a smaller fella like me, you can drop this down, lock it up. You've also got a pressure. So if you guys are free camping and you want to maintain as much water as you can play around with the pressure of the shower here. And that's pretty well it for the shower. You just want to make sure this thing here isn't going to fall off. So you can either take this off straight away, wrap it up in a towel, or if you guys wanted to get a cable tie and keep cutting and using the cable tie, you can do that, or even just a reusable Velcro will help stop this. But our best suggestion is actually taking it off, wrapping it up in the towel, which you're probably going to have on the ground when you jump out the shower. So just chuck that in there, wrap it up in the towel, and then it can't fall off because it's already on the ground. Alrighty, so above your shower you will have a 12-volt exhaust fan. Basically you want to be using this when you're showering. If you're not, if it's the middle of winter and you're having a hot shower, you're going to steam up all in here, you're going to steam up all in the rest of your ensuite, and you don't want that. You don't want moisture in your van. So what we want to do is open this up, keep winding, follow the arrow, it'll wind it all the way open. Even if you don't want to use the fan, you're still going to get a lot of airflow going out, but the fan is really handy. It's connected to your batteries, so you don't need 240 for it. You do have a switch here. Flick that on and that'll start extracting all the steam in your shower. You'll also have another one of these above your toilet for the other sort of steam. So one thing with your 12-volt exhaust fans, you do want to make sure that you close them up when you're traveling. Again, you don't want water coming in, or dust or bugs or whatever can make its way through there, or you don't want it flying off when you're traveling. So what we're going to do is just wind this all the way down and just give it a firm squeeze as well, just so it doesn't work its way up when you're traveling. Alright, onto the air conditioner in the Franklin. So we've got an IBIS 4. You can either operate it from your remote, which will be located in one of your top drawers, or you can operate it from the control screen up the top. This is what the remote's going to look like in your drawer. You can also operate it from up above. So it is quite simple and easy. Everything's touch sensitive up the top, sometimes a little bit too sensitive. There we go. Once we've got this running, got temperature, there's an icicle, get Tom to spin around, icicle symbol, which means it's on cool. If I were to change the symbol to sun, which is right next to that, that's going to go to heat. There are a few other settings like your fan speed, so 1, 2, 3, and then there'll be an AA, which is automatic. And then you've also got dehumidify and all these other settings, but we won't really need to get into them. Alrighty, so you can play around with where the air's coming out of on both sides of your air conditioner. Also, there is filters in your air conditioners that we need you guys to take care of. So best way to do is literally looking up through these grills. You'll see a fly screen like mesh. That's your filter. How we actually clean them ourselves, there should be a little bracket in here. Sometimes it's tucked in too far, like I've just done, I've pushed it in. You can, with like a flathead screwdriver or something like this out of your drawer, just pull it out. So I've got a little spare screw here, pull it out so I can grab it. Then we pull this filter all the way out, and that's what we'll be cleaning and maintaining. When you're done with it, making sure you just slide it back in. Sometimes it can be a little bit tedious getting out, but I just say leave it out a little bit like that so it's easy to grab. One final thing with the air conditioner is making sure you turn it off at either the control panel up here or on your remote. Let it wind itself down completely. Sometimes if you've been running for a long period of time, could take a couple of minutes. Wait till it's stopped making all the noises and then pull your power out if you're packing up and ready to go. Alright, continuing on with the ensuite, you will have a few light switches in here, so just located at the bottom of your mirror. It might vary again with the layout that you guys have ordered. One will do shower and one will do above your toilet. You will have a nice big mirror depending on the layout or the model again. You will have a 2 kilo or 3 kilo front load wall mounted washing machine, or you can have a top load, or even if you have a bigger layout you might have a 4 kilo front load. They're all very similar and easy to use. Okay, moving on to your toilet, really simple and easy to use. Basically what we want to do is lift your lid up. You will have a little handle down the bottom here. Slide that across to open it up, and then obviously opposite to shut it. You want to keep that open when you're using it. Do your business. Flush using the blue button up the top here. Now this button you hold down for as long as you want to flush for. It's not just like a normal toilet where you press it and it does a certain amount of water. So hold it down as long as you need to. As soon as you let go, it'll stop pumping. Or if you're free camping, it will connect to the pump. If you're connected to mains in a caravan park, it will just use the pressure from that hose. Once you're done, you've flushed, slide this across. Don't leave water on the top of that because that can seep over through that little seal and sit on top of your cassette, and then you're dealing with a messy cassette, which you don't want. Okay, last thing in your ensuite is your solid sliding door. You want to make sure this is locked when you're traveling. Last thing you want is this bouncing back and forward in every corner you take and eventually jumping off the runners. So you have a lock up the top here, lock that into place, lock your key. You will also have down the bottom, just do a little swivel, a little drop down lock here as well. That lifts up, pulls out, and then you can move it back and forth when you're traveling. Drop it into place.